What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about CAS today, KASPA for Mr. Peter Davies. I think it's found its top, you guys, and I think it's somewhat obvious, right? We have this like double top looking thing here. If this week closes the way it looks like it wants to, which we have 19 hours left, so that's a lot of time to change, right? We could definitely in a day reverse 12%. We're down 12.3%. So on a week, I mean, we could definitely do that in a day. Though we haven't shown any really big candles recently, might be a little harder to do. We do have bearish divergence, high here, lower high here, higher high here, rejecting the overbought zone as well. Not a good look, really not a good look at all. From this high to this low, I was looking at this before, and generally with this kind of look, you break through, you find a little bit of resistance on your 618. On the second pass, you break through it. The 1272 to the 1618 should be like not a guarantee, but it's very likely that you would at least hit this line, and you couldn't even do that. Finding support on the 786 twice, I mean, like you really should have been able to hit this line and you didn't. But if we look at KASPA here, and we look at the recent high in its market cap, that's what this is. It's the market cap recent high. Going back, I've got it from January of this year till now. Its recent high was basically at $1 billion. So you didn't find resistance at the 1272, but you did find resistance at the psychological number of $1 billion in market cap. So that's kind of normal. That, I feel like that takes away some of the negativity about this. You are finding resistance in a common area. It just might not be something that you consider when you're looking at the charts. Because again, the high here in this chart was at $1.08 billion. That's very close. So maybe you wicked up a little bit higher too, but just a little bit. You can see here's the close, here's where it wicked. So you probably found resistance at that area, and that's why you didn't go higher. With this look, though, with how it is, I would expect that you would return to the 618, 69 area, find support from there, and then we can talk about you going up. You could even go lower. You could go to your 382 or your 236. I don't know if I would expect that as much. The 382, maybe you could expect. The 236, maybe not. But overall, that would be a higher low. And you have this M pattern here that you're forming with your price. Like it wouldn't be too crazy to assume, but I do think you'd probably form something at least like this, if not potentially even lower. And you could find support on your 0.52, but that's I guess not as likely as the 382 or the 618 zone is. So let's look at that. I definitely think that you will go below this low. With this bearish divergence on your weekly, man, this isn't anything to play around with, and I think you're getting the beginnings of it right now. Just looking at this price like this, but from a low to a high here, your 1272 and your 1618, so it's about like 2.8 cents to 2.3 cents. From what was it? Was it this one that I used? Yeah, your 618 is right there, man. Right at that 1272, 1414 is right at that 618. Oh, I'm sorry, that's your 69 to 618 right there. I wonder, what about this one too? Low to high. 382's down here, and it's very common to break below your 382. You could find support. This 1272 looks like a realistic number, man. Maybe even the 1618. You could get a deeper move down to about 1.9 cents, I suppose. That wouldn't be too weird. But one way or another, I do think it's going lower, guys. And I think it will go below this low. Probably, if I had to guess, somewhere between about 2.9 to 1.9 cents. That's what I would expect. Being that this is a $1 billion market cap at its top at a closing basis there, I would very much assume that it's not the top of the cycle. We probably go through some kind of consolidation phase. You've been on KASPA here. Let's see. You've been moving up basically your whole existence, right? Maybe it's more obvious on a weekly. Very, very nice. You're kind of getting limp, right? You're starting to bend over, and I think you're going to see some of the price action follow that. You're looking weaker now than you have in a while. Any top you've had has been like one top. Next top is noticeably higher. Next top's noticeably higher. These ones, you couldn't get there. So I think playing off of this range right here would really be something to watch. Maybe even playing off of this range where you had the failed extension as well. And I know that there's a lot of lines there, but basically right here, this 6.9 Probably the 618 is what I would think, but somewhere in this zone, but probably to the 618. So somewhere around 2.6, let's call it 2.65 cents to, yeah, like 1.9 cents. Somewhere in there is where I think you're going to go. I really do. But then from there, again, that would be what? 100x from there could be $5, maybe 50 cents, something like that. Between 50 cents and $5 is probably where you're going to go with KASPA by the end of the bull market. I don't know. I say probably, maybe. Who really knows? But definitely promising things for this, just maybe not right now. Daily RSI looks weak, looks like it wants to go down, kind of confirming that with the weekly, right? Previous area of support turns into resistance, you're probably going to go lower. RSI is also just weak, man. You're in the bearish area of control being under this 40. I don't necessarily like that. 4 hour looks a little constructive, but still kind of neutral. Finding support on your 40, not bad. Lower highs, lower lows. Hard time getting overbought, no problem being oversold. So I guess I would say neutral with a bearish effect for sure. I would think that you'd come lower, but maybe you go up over the next couple days, form a lower high, and then continue to go lower. But probably not a high that's going to be above 4.5 cents. Yeah. Anyways, down is what I think. And as far as like selling goes or buying goes, you know, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but if I was looking to buy this thing, I probably wouldn't. And if I had bought this thing already, maybe I bought it lower, maybe I bought it higher. Again, this isn't financial advice. I don't normally like tell people. I don't ever tell people when to sell or when to buy. You know, I tell people when I'm going to buy, when I'm going to sell. But if I was to sell, this is kind of the area where it would be, I think, acceptable to sell. If you believe it's going to go lower, like I'm thinking it does, you know, somewhere probably below this 382, lower than this low, because from here, I mean, that's at least a 24% drop. And it's probably going to take months to figure this out. This isn't going to happen overnight. You know, I think a lot of people are charged one way or another. They think everything's bullish or everything's bearish all at once. And it's like, I think, you know, we're about 6 months out from the halving. We've got time. We've definitely got time. And 3 months can go by like that for sure, but this could take 3 months before turning around and getting bullish, you know. It could take 2 months, something like that. This low, literally this line just like that, that is completely possible, and that would end, you know, technically next year, sometime in the very beginning of next year. So maybe it's steeper, maybe it's deeper, something like that, but sometime toward the end of the year, the beginning of the year is when I think this thing would end. It's not going to happen tonight, but that's, again, why looking at this overall fib, you know, we're at the very beginning of it. We haven't even broken the 236. So is it a good time to sell? Maybe. Watch you sell, and then it just goes all the way up. You know, don't hate me if it does, but I don't. Again, it's not financial advice, anyways. You guys are supposed to make your own decisions, you know, based on your own logics and own opinions and stuff like this. You just watch this for entertainment reasons, and with that, I leave you. So if you like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. Down is where I think this thing's going. Yeah. All right, take care.